Grit, a Detroit Lions podcast. Powered by the Monroe County Reporters. Here are your hosts, Jason Harwood and Jacob Litton.
Welcome to another episode of Talking Grit. I am Jason Harwood. Over there is my favorite worker elf, Jacob Litton. Getting ready for Christmas, man. How's it going for you?
Hey, we've got everything set. Not everything is wrapped. Kids got the first gift today. Deanna bought a dog. We got a puppy.
Oh, man.
Despite my objections over the years.
You've been overruled, my friend.
Oh, yeah. It's a small dog. They were excited. They can't settle on a name, so we've been trying to throw sports-related names out there, man. And Deanna's not buying it. So,
what names got thrown out by Deanna?
Pretty much everyone that we've come up with. JJ keeps trying to throw like Tua. He said Tua out there. Milo came up with said Shay, Carmelo. She almost went for Carmelo, but she's wanting dog names like Brownie and Coco and I don't know. Rosie wants to call it Kitty. So that's just what she started calling it, is Kitty. So that's fun for her.
Nice.
So I don't know. I'll let you know when they finally decide on a name. It's like, keep me out of it.
Yeah, you don't need. Yeah.
I always just picture when she names it something like Brownie. Right. When she names it something like Brownie, I'm the one can be chasing after this little dog outside, having to yell Brownie.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't want to do that. So speaking of names, so my one of my best friends, Paul, huge Lions fan, Detroit fan, named his dog Callie after Kaline. And then I have another, I think it's Sarah's cousin, named their dog Izzy after Eisman.
Nice.
So
I get it.
You might be able to sneak in like a nickname that's not an actual player's name. I honestly,
Hutch.
for one of
that's what I should be pushing for. Hutch. Yeah, I said Amon-Ra, but that was shot down pretty quick.
That one's a little too obvious. Yeah, I'll have to think about Panay. You name him Panay.
Right. JJ said
Sully.
Jameer. He said Jameer. Yeah, we'll just call him Ja.
Ja, I like it. That'd be sweet. It's a good. You can yell. You got to practice yelling it because you're gonna be yelling at the dog a lot. So make sure it's a good yelling name. Yeah.
Right.
That's awesome. Our dog is named Cooper, not after Cooper Kupp, but we did say if we get another dog, we would name it Kupp, and then we would have Cooper Kupp in our house.
You'd name the other dog Kupp.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Yep.
Kupp the pup.
Kupp the pup. That sounds good until he's not a pup. Our golden doodle was supposed to be 40 pounds, and it's like hitting almost 90. So
exactly.
It's a big dog. Big dogs come with a lot of food and also big messes in the yard, if you know what I mean. Gross. All right. Make sure you guys follow us on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. Also on Twitter at Talking Grit Pod. Make sure you like and subscribe. That would really help the channel out. So we could go from making zero money to zero money. That would be helpful. No, just do it. It'd be helpful and put a smile on Jacob's face, and I like seeing that. So no transactions, Jacob, but there was some announcements today. The Pro Bowl rosters got announced. Why don't you go tell everybody who for the Lions got announced to make that team?
5 Pro Bowlers for the Lions this year. Pretty good number. So starting with running back Jahmyr Gibbs, he's starting for the NFC. This is his 3rd Pro Bowl appearance.
Mm-hmm.
Wide receiver Amon-Ra St. Brown, this is his 4th. Penei Sewell, also his 4th appearance. And then Hutch. Good to see Hutch come back like that. 2nd appearance for him. And then with making his first, his Pro Bowl debut, linebacker Jack Campbell, well-deserved. These are just Pro Bowl. It's not all pro. So, this is not the great one. This is awesome. It's, well-deserved. The all pro is what we're hoping that these guys get.
Yeah. It's gonna be tough. There's some really good competition out there. I'm sure Panay is Penei Sewell's just a shoe-in. Jack may have a pretty good shot at getting that. I don't know about the other guys.
The competition,
making it.
especially for Amon-Ra to have like a couple games like he's had, with the type of year that Puka Nakua and Jackson Smith and Jigba had, it's going to be hard to get a first team All Pro. He could still make All Pro. He could still make second team All Pro, which is great. Not quite good enough for him, I'm sure. But, a couple of different things he's been battling through. And yeah, it's going to be interesting at running back too for Jahmyr Gibbs. I mean, I think it was Bijan and McCaffrey that were the other Pro Bowlers this year. That's going to be tough. If he's going to make All Pro, we need to have a couple more huge games here.
Yeah, he's going to have to leave like a lasting impression. Fortunately, our playoff chances are really, really tight. So it really helps when you your team gets into the playoffs. Like I know the voting doesn't happen after that, but just that you've carried your team into the playoffs, I think makes a big deal and is probably, might be a tiebreaker for some of these voters. So we also had some Pro Bowl alternates named too. Jared Goff is the first alternate for a quarterback. So who made it, right? It's Sam Darnold, Dak Prescott, and Matt
Stafford is the
Stafford,
starter.
right? Yeah. So if any of those guys, if they're injured or if they're in the Super Bowl, then would put Jared Goff into a Pro Bowl, which his numbers, he deserves to be up there. I mean, he's for sure, in my opinion, deserves to be in there. Who wasn't first alternate? Jordan Love, right? He wasn't first alternate. Yeah. Jameson Williams is fourth alternate. That's going to be tough for him to crack that. Sam Laporta, even as being as injured as long as he was, fifth alternate. Brian Branch, obviously he won't be able to play in the game even if he gets voted in, and I'm sure Kirby won't either. Brian Branch is first alternate. Kirby Joseph's is fifth alternate. So I don't know, if since Brian Branch is already injured, I don't know if he if he gets put in because he's the first alternate. I don't know if he officially gets a Pro Bowl because they basically would just have to skip past him. I'm not sure how that works. Do you?
I think that it still counts. Like he would still have like a Pro Bowl appearance, but there is something. I don't think so. There's a lot of teams that have these in their contracts where if they get voted to the Pro Bowl team, that they get bonuses and stuff like that. The Lions typically do not have too many players that have those type of bonuses in there. I know that none of the guys that we have that made the team have a bonus in there for Pro Bowl. That would be, I guess, kind of the deciding thing, but I don't think that counts for alternate either. Like, I mean, It's a cool accolade to say, like, oh, he also had an appearance on the Pro Bowl team for your 2025. But, like you said, he's not going to play or anything like that. And he was a first alternate starting off. Doesn't mean that much in the grand scheme of things other than just some recognition for the player.
Well, I think it could mean for their so for like Jake Campbell, it will mean his fifth year option is going to go up because I think he gets the one Pro Bowl, and if he gets the All Pro, then it's going to go up even further. They're going to want to extend him, but and that'll probably work itself out in there. But that will, it could. That's one thing it could affect. But at the same time, are you going to be rooting against your guy to get a Pro Bowl? No, you want them to play as best as they can, and that's when you look back at that draft, like the first four picks from that draft all have made at least one Pro Bowl, which is amazing.
From which draft? You're talking about for us?
The Branch, Laporta, Gibbs and Campbell draft. I mean, that's to hit four Pro Bowlers. It's amazing.
Yes. Like for Gibbs though, so Gibbs, his fifth year option was 11 million, and now that he got another, multiple Pro Bowls, that goes up to 14 million. So it went up by 3 for having multiple. But like for Jack Campbell, it was 16 million, and now that he got named to the Pro Bowl, it went up to almost 23 million for his fifth year option.
Jeez.
But that once again is also, so if you're an alternate, that does not count for that fifth year option. You've got to be on the original ballot.
Oh, do you? Okay, I was wondering about that, like how they work that out.
Before you have 6 or 7 quarterbacks that don't want to play, and then you've got Tyler.
Yeah.
Was it Tyler Huntley that made the start in the
Tyler
Pro Bowl?
Huntley, yeah, which is ridiculous.
Exactly. So they have that stipulation in these fifth year.
Okay. It makes sense because, like you said, if you got a bunch of injuries ahead of you or you got people that just, bunch of veterans and they don't want to play or go wherever and they bow out, Yeah, that totally makes
Right.
sense. So congrats to those guys. I'm super happy about it. Jacob, you also looked up the other teams in the division, how many Pro Bowlers they have. Why don't you tell everybody how many the Bears, Packers, and Vikings have?
Yeah, just a quick rundown on the rest of the NFC North. So the Lions lead the NFC North with 5 Pro Bowlers. The Bears have 3, and that's Joe Tooney, Drew Dahlman, and Kevin Byard. So 2 of those 3 are brand new to the Bears this year. The Packers had 1 Pro Bowler, Micah Parsons, also new to the team this year. And then the Vikings had 0. I think the Vikings were one of 3 teams to not have anybody listed at all.
Yep.
Tough year for the Vikings, but you know what? They beat us, so we need to get one back this week.
So one thing that I do like when you look at, our 5 Pro Bowlers that have made it, they were all drafted by Brad Holmes, correct? How many of those players were drafted by the division? Well, you already, the 2 offensive linemen for the Bears were free agents. Micah Parson obviously was traded. Was Kevin Byard? He was probably drafted, but was he's
Kevin
free
Byard
agent
was
too?
a free agent. Yep.
Yeah. So they, none of their drafted players are making Pro Bowls. I mean, that's very telling. Now, obviously, the argument this year is that a big deal. We didn't, we aren't going to win our division. The Bears are, but I like how it looks in the future for us be having these Pro Bowlers on our team, young Pro Bowlers too. It's not like any of these guys are old; they're just heading into their second contract or haven't got their second contract yet. So the future's bright for the Lions. If you're a Lions fan, I know we're all in the dumps right now, just because to get in the playoffs, and it's not over yet. We could still get in the playoffs. Packers got to lose 2, and we got to win the last 2. It can happen. I know we're on life support as we talked in our last podcast, but I have good vibes going into next year because of these young players that we have coming up, and they're going to get better.
True. To counterpoint that, though, these are all the good young players that we had going into this year, too. There hasn't been anybody
100%.
that's really emerged or anything like that. These are the good players that we have and that we've, already knew that we had. And obviously the injuries of Branch, Kirby, Laporta, like those are all huge. Yeah, but it's tough to potentially be on the outside looking at the playoffs with the roster that we have and with the team that we have. Doesn't feel right.
No, it does not feel right. And that's just sometimes the way football works, though, right? I mean, I've mentioned this on many podcasts. We're a few plays away from having a couple more wins. And, but honestly, if you look how we've played defense the last 4 or 5 weeks, we didn't deserve to win those games. You can't play defense like basically bottom. I mean, I haven't looked at the last 5 game stats, but we have to be in the bottom like 5 defensively as far as yards and points given up. It's not sustainable. Things have to change, and it's not something we're used to in Detroit. We're used to getting stronger this time of year, and it seems like we're regressing now. Yes, injuries have happened, especially in the secondary, and when you lose a player like Brian Branch, that's really going to affect it, especially when Kirby's out. That though that's critical because those are your captains of the back end, and they also are turnover machines, those guys back there, which can have game changing ability. So yes, that's going against us, but last year we were holding our front end together with glue and pulling people off the streets, and we were doing all right. So I still expect more from what we've shown. We've got to show a way to adapt. And unfortunately, Shep has not shown that ability lately to do that, and that's unfortunate. I don't think that means that he can't do it. Do you still have confidence in him for next year, Jacob? Do you still want him back next year?
I do. I like Shep. Obviously we both were, I think, ecstatic that they gave Shep the defensive coordinator position. I really thought we were going to be able to continue what we were doing and maybe enhance that a little bit. I think losing Terrion Arnold and having him not be healthy has affected the defense way more than anybody thought that it would. For how much heat that Terrion seems to get, and everyone's got a problem with him. Terrion is really good in coverage, and I mean, just these 3rd and 4th down they're just so easily been able to convert. DJ Reed has not been playing very well. Amik has had some ups and downs, and then you don't have any of that continuity with the defensive backfield. Like, when you've got Terrion, DJ Reed, Brian Branch, Kirby Joseph, they all can complement each other and play, really well. They can run the defense really well. And I think, having the secondary be decimated is just really, really affected us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, Dan Campbell said, they got to work together. And the problem is that the back end's been, it was embarrassingly bad, I thought, on Sunday. Just the fact when we played zone, guys were just like wide open. It was pitch and catch for Aaron Rodgers. Like it wasn't even a matter of just putting it in the right spot. He just needed to throw it anywhere, and there wasn't a defender within 4 or 5 yards. It seemed, at least for me watching the stands, it just you could see him wide open. It was like, oh my god, this is not sustainable. We can't have this. Whether it's poor communication, whether it's just poor play, regardless, we got to figure out something else. And that's what we got to see this week, right?
Right. I just don't like the play call. Like, let's rush 3 and drop everybody in a zone. But then we have, like, if it's 4th and 4 or something like that, or 3rd and 4, you can't drop in a zone and then wait for them to get 8 or 9 yards before you cover them. That's exactly why they just run hitch routes, and they're right there. And you're right. It's just so easy. 4th and 4, they're getting 6, yards on it because we're so far back. And we're rushing 3 people. Like, several times we're rushing 3 people. We never get home with 3. Never get home with 3. And then just, even if the play does break down and doesn't work, well, the quarterback's got 5-6 seconds to throw the ball. And that's impossible to cover somebody that long.
Yeah, it's a scheme issue. To me, it's that more than anything else. And whether they're being stubborn with it, whether the back end's affecting it more than we know as lay people, just fans watching it. Regardless, it shouldn't be this. It shouldn't be this bad. In my opinion, Thomas Harper's been a good back there. Avonte Maddox probably didn't have a good game last time. He was fairly. I mean, I think he's injured. He's in the injury report this week, so maybe that had something to do with it. But in the week before, they've been played serviceable back there. To me, it's a matter of we're not getting pressure on the quarterback quick enough, and that by the time we do get pressure, what they count as a pressure, our, like you said, our corners and secondary can't hold on to coverage forever.
Exactly. You can't ask somebody to hold that long. That's not how the design goes either. As soon as the route's busted and then they're just running whatever, I mean, you can't, then it's like backyard football. No, you can't just run back and forth with these guys.
Yep.
And that's when you get these illegal contact and holding. And
that's what I was about to say. Then it's any sort of contact, you're screwed. And the offensive player knows where he's going. The defender doesn't. So it's all on the defender to stay up with him.
Right.
All right. Let's move on. Let's quickly move through main threats. This is obviously a team we face twice every year. I don't think there's really any surprises on this. I think the only thing that I found surprising is Justin Jefferson ranked 22nd out of 131 for wide receivers, and that's probably mostly due to his quarterback play this year, I would imagine.
I guess. I don't understand how the rankings come across that way because obviously he's not been able to get open. And then when you've got, even Jamar Chase struggling with backup quarterbacks and stuff like that, but he finds a way to get some receptions and make some damage. Justin Jefferson has not been able to do much of anything this year. So for him to be ranked 22nd, I don't know if they're giving him a great, run blocking grade, or I don't know how Pro Football Focus figures that out.
Offensive line, Brian Kelly is rated 4 out of 40. That's their center. He's had some concussion issues, but he's playing right now. TJ Hawkinson will obviously put him on there because former Lion. He's not having that great of year. And I thought he'd be better with JJ McCarthy. I thought he'd be the outlet for JJ McCarthy. That just the connection has not developed there. He's rated 44 out of 76 for tight ends. Jordan Addison is, again, probably plagued by quarterback play, 66 out of 131 of wide receivers. And Aaron Jones, who should play in this game. Jordan Mason, maybe not. When we get to the injury report, we'll see that is rated 44 out of 60. Put Aaron Jones on there because he has the potential of tearing us up, basically. As we gave up a ton of rushing yards last week, that's someone that we're going to have to stop.
Definitely. Got to be better against the run. But Aaron Jones banged up. Like you said, Jordan Mason may not play. Might be down to their third string running back.
Yep. All right, Jacob, who's their defensive main threats?
Defensive main threats: cornerback Isaiah Rodgers, defensive line Jalen Redmond, defensive lineman Javon Hargrave, linebacker Eric Wilson, and then edge Andrew Van Ginkel. None of these guys are necessarily rated like top at their position for Pro Football Focus. Rodgers and Redmond are both number 20. Van Ginkel right now is number 61 out of 112, but he could be a game wrecker. He knows football. He plays football really well. He's able to crash in. He's able to anticipate where the play is going. He was NFL top 100, number 88. I think that he was injured. I think he played his first game of the season against us, right?
Or maybe first game back. His first game back, I think.
Yeah. So, that's a good player. That's somebody that we've got to figure out where he's at. He's known to jump these quick screens and slant routes and, some of the stuff that we've been trying lately. So we got to be careful.
Yep. Practice report for the Vikings. TJ Hawkinson did not practice. Ryan Kelly did not practice. That's the center I mentioned earlier. Jordan Mason did not practice. JJ McCarthy has a right hand issue. Did not practice. So we got to keep an eye on that. With being a short week, it's very unlikely.
JJ McCarthy has a fracture in his right hand. So they said
is it a fracture? Okay. So, all right. So, is Brosmer going to – I know that they signed Rippon this week, but I would assume Brosmer is going to play, and
I would assume. I have not heard otherwise. I mean, that'd be kind of crazy to pull somebody in and try to start him above. Brosmer went like 7 for 9, and they won the game last week, so.
Yeah. I'll just never forget to just throwing it up on 4th down and throwing the pick 6, like his first start. If we get tore up by Brosmer, I'm going to be.
If this is a Matt Flynn game, I swear.
I know, exactly. Tackle Brian O'Neill, limited practice. Aaron Jones, limited practice. Javon Hargrave and Eric Wilson, limited practice. So they do have, a lot of the people that we had on main threats are on this injury report. So that's definitely going to affect the game, and especially with it being a short week. Not very much rest for these guys.
Well, and you'd think also for them, the playoffs are out of reach. You don't really have too much going on. Like, I mean, obviously some of these guys love football. They want to play. I don't know what kind of roster bonuses that they have or, percentage of snaps maybe that these guys may be thinking about. But, you would think if Aaron Jones isn't feeling 100%, why would you put him out there right now? There's not really, like I said, unless there's some sort of roster bonus or something that he's trying to get, what do you really have to gain from getting him out there?
Yep. I'm with you there. One player that we're not going to have to face, and I'm happy about this, is Jonathan Grenard, their linebacker. He is out for the year. He's on IR. So is Joshua Metellus, their safety. He's out. Their other tackle, Christian Darisaw. Darisaw played? Did he play the first one? I can't remember if he played in that game or not.
I feel like he was out, but I don't know that for sure.
Yeah. Matt Nelson, former Lion, offensive line. Jeff Okuda is on the IR still, so we don't have to worry about facing Jeff Okuda. Man, he could have just tore us up.
Man, we might have some success throwing now. Darisaw did start in the last one.
Okay, I thought like he had come back. It was questionable whether he was going to play, but all right. We're back to 2 pages for our practice report, Jacob. So. Back to familiar territory. You want to go through this first page with everybody?
Yeah. Only a couple did not practice, though. So mostly limited practices. Avonte Maddox dealing with a back injury. They're also listing an illness. He did not practice on Tuesday. He also did not practice on Monday. David Montgomery, though, he did practice. He was not listed on the report on Monday. Did not practice on Tuesday. They're calling it an illness. So something to monitor there. Obviously somebody that we need to get more involved, but that's still a huge loss if Demo can't go. As far as the limited participants, though, Tristan Colon, limited practice. Marcus Davenport. Taylor Decker didn't practice Monday, so that was good that he was limited on Tuesday. Tom Kennedy, Christian Mahogany, Giovanni Manu, Aleem McNeil. You did not put that on here, but Aleem,
He didn't
I think,
have, like, they didn't list it. They listed him on the injury report, but did not put a designation whether he was limited or not. So I don't know. He was limited yesterday, I believe. But
you know
they
what?
left
We're
it
just gonna
blank.
assume for my sanity that Aleem had a full practice and he did really well today.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. Yeah.
Based on where he's at in this report, it leads me to believe this is probably also limited practice.
Yeah.
Short week, no need to overdo it.
Yeah.
Al-Qadim Muhammad, limited practice. Amik Robertson, limited practice. Amon Ra did not practice Monday, but was limited on Tuesday. And then Graham Glasgow, limited practice on Monday. He got in a full practice on Tuesday.
Yep.
So that's good that Graham got in a full practice. We need a healthy offensive line. Now, I know Graham's not exactly had the best year, but I think he's our best option at center. Best offensive line as a unit is when Graham is out there right now. So we would like to have him back.
Yeah. Whether that happens next year, it's we'll talk about that, I'm sure, coming up. But
right. It's a different question.
Exactly. All right, Jacob, you wrote some notes here of the previous game recap. I was just wondering if you wanted to go over that now or if you wanted
just
to
real
go
quick.
over...
I just want to go over in case you guys are like us and kind of try to wipe that one from your memory. That Men in Black red flashlight stick thing. Just like, I'll just forget this real quick. I wish I had that. Anyway, previous game recap. The Vikings won 27-24. I don't doubt that everyone remembers that. However, the Lions won the time of possession in that game. It was 29 minutes to 31. It was close. We also outgained the Vikings 305 yards to 258, and we went 3 for 3 on fourth down. A lot of these are key things that we look at for why we won or lost a game. And those were all positive things, and we still came away, losing 27-24. And I think the biggest part of any of that is that Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery combined for 65 rushing yards. It's hard to run against the Vikings, but other teams have had some success, and that's, a gigantic key because you can see, obviously, like we had more yards, we had the ball longer, we went for it on fourth down, and we got it every time, and yet we still did not do enough to get it done. You can't rush the ball. I mean, if they take away our rushing attack, and I know as many people say, well, if you take away the run, then Jared Goff, we take Jared Goff out of the game. That's not true. Goff had a good game, as he continuously does. But, I mean, you take any team that's rushing for 65 yards, you need a lot of things to go your way for you to come out on top of that game.
Yep. One thing you didn't put, I think we lost the turnover battle in that game because
it was 1-1.
Oh, was it 1-1?
We picked off McCarthy, but then David Montgomery lost that fumble.
Yeah, lost that fumble, and that was right after. It was like a third. From what I remember, it was like 3rd and 11, or it was 3rd and long, and we were backed up on our own goal line. He's running free, and then they just punched it out from behind him. And last year when we were playing in Minnesota, Montgomery fumbled too in a similar way. They came out and punched
That's what I was thinking.
Out.
Is that I think that's the one that you're thinking of, but now I don't know. Now I can't remember exactly.
No, they're both. I could tell you this. I know this for a fact. They were close in their goal line. I was excited because we ran it on a 3rd and long. He got it, but then they punched it out. Yeah, and it just scooted right ahead, and they picked it up, and they were in really good field position. And that was in that game. One thing that there was some special teams lapses, and they got really good field position. They blocked a kick from ours, returned it, and to get into very good field position. And that's one of the reasons why we outgained them is because they kept starting in optimal, like sometimes right in scoring position already. So we'll have to be better with the football this time. All right, Jacob. Let's go to some statistics to get everybody ready for the game. Vikings, Detroit. Lions are ranked 2nd in points scored, 30.1. The problem is that we're giving up so many points lately. However, the Vikings ranked 26 in points scored with 20.3 points. However, in points allowed, the Vikings defense is ranked 11th, so they're almost top 10 at 21.3 points. We are ranked all the way down at 23, getting about 24.9 points. I remember when I first started making these charts, we were in top 10 in both of these, and it's just gone the wrong way lately. It's been terrible. All right, how about offensively, Jacob? How do we look, and how do the Vikings look?
All right, total yards per game. We are third in the league with 378.7 yards per game. The Vikings, 28. Really close to the bottom for the Vikings, 276.7 yards per game. So about 100 yard per game difference between these teams. Rushing yards per game, the Vikings are at 103.1. We are at 123.4. So the Lions are at 12. The Vikings are at 25. And then passing yards per game, same. Vikings are 28th in the league. The Lions are third in the league. So we have 255.3 yards per game passing, and the Vikings have 173.7. Obviously, the Vikings with, I think they've had 3 different quarterbacks. And McCarthy's been battling injuries and everything too. They just have not been able to get it together.
This eerily looks like the chart from last week, by the way. Not to
I don't think the Steelers were that close to the bottom, were they? I mean, you made the chart, were they?
Yeah, they were pretty close to the bottom. So it just it reminds me of last week's chart. However, defensively, the Vikings have a good defense. They're 5th ranked right now in total yards per game, 296.8. The Lions come in ranked 23rd, giving up 347.4 yards per game. Rushing, we're actually better than the Vikings. We're ranked 16, giving up 114.9, whereas Vikings give up 127.6, ranked 24th. Passing yards, the Vikings have the number 3 pass defense, and a lot of that I believe has to do with pressure and the way that Flores lines everybody up front, and it just we had some difficulties last time with it for sure. Our offensive line was really confused, so we have to be on cue here. They gave up less than 170 yards per game in passing, whereas we are ranked 25th, giving up 232.5 yards per game. Again, we've just
I would like to see these numbers before their last week, though.
Yeah. Well, I would like to see us get
last
better.
week they played the Giants. Well, right. Last week they played the Giants. They gave up 13 pass yards.
Really? 13 pass yards?
Yeah. I don't know what happened with the Giants. I mean, that was a winnable game. Should have been for the Giants with the Vikings having the injuries and everything that they had. And the Giants just absolutely blew it. Jackson Dart, I think he threw for like 30 yards or something like that. But then with the sacks and everything coming off, that was like a net of 13 yards.
All right, Jacobs. Yeah, that's insane. All right, Jacob. Jacob and I decided ahead of time, we're not doing keys to victory in this one. Keep on repeating ourselves, and frankly, we've already played this team. So basically, Jacob and I came up with what do we need to see in this game? And I'm going to start with, for me, I want to see some fight. I don't want to see us lay down. I see us, I want to put it to this division opponent and just, because I don't know if you realize this or not, Jacob, if we lose this game, we move down to last place in the division.
No, I did not realize that.
Yeah.
What's the Vikings record? I thought the Vikings were 2 games behind us.
No, they're 7-8 because they've won 3 in a row, and we've lost the last 2. And if we would actually have the same record, but they would beat us twice. So that puts us into last place.
My God, what a turn.
Yeah. Yeah. Not ideal. So what do you got? What do you need to see in this game?
I just need to see a complete game. I need like the offense, the defense, special teams. I just need us to mesh well. I know the playoffs are a long shot, but it's still possible. I mean, we can't have another game like we had last week. Obviously, we can't lose, but we can't have another game like that where it's just like we're not connecting, we're not moving it. Even if we do enough just to sneak into the playoffs, I'd be afraid for our first round matchup that we'd get blown away if we can't find some sort of continuity. I think it starts with the offensive line. I think we need to be able to block better and have success running the football. But I just want to see a complete game. Complimentary football, like you said, show some fight. Everybody show some grit, man. Like, get back to what we're known for.
Mm-hmm.
Look alive out there, please.
Yes, I agree. One thing I will be watching and that I want to see is Ratledge and Mahogany, right? Young guys, I want to see how they adapt. Did not have a good game the first time they played the Vikings. Looks like Graham's going to be back, which say what you want to say about Graham, but he's played the Vikings before. We're going to learn from the past game. We're going to be able to make the checks at the line, I think, better than Kingsley would be able to up there. So I'm going to be watching Ratledge and Mahogany and just seeing how they operate. And hopefully we can notice some big improvements from the last time we played the Vikings.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting that you say that because we've kind of had to shuffle around the offensive line a little bit more than we would like to anyway. It's a big difference from this year and last year, but the offensive line could look completely different next year too, right? Like we don't know. You said, you want to see Ratledge show some more. He's played pretty well. Mahogany obviously just coming back off the injury, but this could be it for Graham. Do we put Kingsley back in there? I mean, hopefully Frank comes back. We don't know what's going on with Decker. I mean, there's a lot of moving pieces. Tate could slide over to center. We may have Miles Frazier in the mix over there. Cologne has not been bad. I mean, he's looked okay. Does he get another shot next year? There's a lot of moving parts here for the offensive lines.
Yeah. The only thing we know is our right tackle is going to be there. That is the for sure mark. But you would think
that brings us comfort.
Yeah, it does, because he is. Yeah, he's just flat out amazing. Going to get an All-Pro this year. All right. Defensively, okay. Last week, it's hard to remember this, but we started out the game pretty good defensively against the Steelers. Like the first 3 drives, pretty respectable. And we've had instances like that. The Cowboys came to mind recently where first half was really good. And then whatever reason that their offense adjusts to what we're doing on defense, but we're not adjusting quick enough. I have to see us adjust to what they're, anticipate what they're going to do, how they're going to attack us based on how we start the game. Don't just stay stagnant and just keep Steelers just, it's like after they figured out how we were playing, they just knew what to call them. That, especially that last drive right before the half, they 3rd and 10, get 11 yards, 3rd and 11, get 12 yards. It was just ridiculous. They knew exactly where the holes in the defense was going to be, and they just put a guy there. Adam Thielen, who hasn't done anything this year and is one of the lowest rated PFF rated wide receivers, was able to get open on us. And that's embarrassing. It should not have happened.
We weren't covering him. But you're right. Yeah. I mean, it does every week anymore. It feels like the first half is like the other team sizing us up. They're kind of setting us up for whatever that they want to do or however they want to do it. And then they almost just have their way with it in the second half. Like they have way too much success. And maybe that's something like some growing pains for Shep, like as far as making your adjustments at halftime or whatever you're doing. But yeah, something's got to give. Something's got to change. You have to be... You have to mix up more. You can't just say this is our game plan. This is what we're going to do. This is what we're going to run. And then you fail to call anything different or change anything up. And some of these, it's like we're showing blitz on one side and Rodgers just checks or switches the run to the other way. And then we completely whiff on the run the other way. Like you're not mixing things up. They know where the pressure is coming. They know where the running lanes are going to be. And they were hitting it every time.
Yep. Yeah, we were not surprising them. Yes, we were not surprising them at all. Last thing that I need to see is, all right, the last 2 games, the offense has been good, except for the third quarter. We have went back to the way we were with Ben Johnson that year that we couldn't do anything in the third quarter. At least get some first downs. Take some pressure off the defense. I mean, that's one of the reasons why, they're gassed. And we, thought about it with the Steelers game. It was right after those long drives, and then we go 3 and out, and then we give up those long runs. The defense is gassed. We need to at least get some first downs, take some time off the clock, and then put them in bad field position. I need to see that. All right, Jacob. I want to, unless you got something else with your...
Nope, let's go.
All right, cool. So I want to quiz you. We always, in the main threads, we always go with the opponent's PFF grades, but we hardly talk about the Lions PFF grades. So I kind of wanted to just quiz you on where you thought some of our guys fell. So I'm not gonna quiz you on Penei Sewell because he's number 1. That's been well publicized, like the number 1 tackle in football. Amon-Ra, he's had some drops this year. Where do you think PFF has him ranked as far as wide receivers?
He has some drops, but he's really good with his routes. He's really good with run blocking and everything. I don't think they would have dropped him too far. I don't know. I'll say 6.
3rd.
Third.
Is behind Puka Nacua is number 1. That's not surprising. JSN is number 2. And then
That's
it's
exactly what I was
Amon-Ra
talking about
after that.
earlier, though. That's tough for him to still be having a great year, but the two that are better than him are both, NFC wide receivers. So
Yes.
the Pro Bowl thing was not surprising for me.
Yep. Sam Laporta, where do you think he is on tight ends right now?
Well, he got hurt, but he was playing at a high level, right? I'll say Laporta is number 4.
He was number 4.
Hey,
so I mean
all
it's huge. You hit it.
Well, Hutch got hurt last year, and Hutch was number 1. So I mean, he just was number 1 until the number of snaps or whatever was too far to reach.
Yeah. All right. PFF hates Jared Goff. Notoriously hates Jared Goff because he has no mobility. Where do you think they have him ranked? There's 41 quarterbacks ranked. Where do you think they have our boy Jared Goff ranked?
I'll say 9.
12. They have him 12. So look at how.
Yeah, do you have the breakdown of what they?
Yeah, I got it right here. What do you want to know? Do you want to know who's ahead of him, or you want to know?
No, I just want to know what his grade, what negative.
So his run grade is 62.3, which is interesting because that's higher than Sam Darnold. It's higher than Jordan Love. Jordan Love is a 52.1 running, and then the lowest in the top 12 for running is Matt Stafford with 37.9. Goff is actually ahead of Joe Burrow in running. Joe Burrow is 49.5. So he's actually the second lowest out of the top 12 there. They have his passing grade is 76.8. His overall grade is 78.5. So I'll quickly go over who's ahead of him. Matt Stafford's number 1. That's not a surprise. Joe Burrow's 2. Allen's 3. Prescott's 4. Jordan Love is 5th, which I find shocking.
Hilarious.
Brock Purdy is 6th. Drake May is 7th. I thought Drake May would be higher.
Right.
Justin Herbert's 8. Trevor Lawrence is 9. Darnold and Lawrence are tied at 9. Actually, they have the same exact grade. And then just ahead of Jared Goff is Jalen Hurts. So
dumb.
The last one I want to ask you on the offensive is JMO. Where do you think JMO's at?
JMO, interesting. Well, we know JMO's had a really good year, but Pro Football Focus does not really take into consideration everything that he does. I'm going to say they have him 18.
Wow. He is 31st right now.
Wow.
So let's
top
see.
10 in yards, top 10 in touchdowns, top 10 in yards per catch. I mean, you can go through all the stats. Arguably one of the best run blocking receivers that's out there, especially for his size. What's Pro Football Focus have him rated low at?
So his run, I'm looking here. Let me see. His run blocking is, I got to get down here, 68.3, which let me run this. He's in the top 6 for run blocking and for wide receivers. Let's see here. His running grade is really low, which is hilarious.
Well, he hasn't had as much success as usual with that.
Yeah.
But I think that's one of those things where that hurts him by having those opportunities. Because, I mean, how many times has Puka ran the ball? Probably not that many. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Let me see if I got stats will show up over here. Yeah. He's first on there. So let's move over to quickly run over to the defense here. Let's start with Jack Campbell. Where do you think he's rated?
Number 2.
He is number 2. Fred Warner is number 1, and he's right behind.
And Warner's hurt.
Yep. And so Warner's comes up with a 93.2 grade. Jack Campbell's the only other linebacker with a above 90 grade. He's at 90.1.
Good for Jack.
Yeah.
I know that doesn't mean a whole lot, but I want him to get all pro. I think that he's earned it.
Hutch, as far as edge, where do you think he's at?
I feel like he was still ranked really high the last time I checked, but I'll say 5.
He's 4. So number 1 is
Myles Garrett.
His overall grade's 92.7. Micah is right behind Myles at 92. Will Anderson Jr. is a 91.9, and then Hutch is at 91.1. And those are the only 4 guys that are above a 90 grade as far as edges. Danielle Hunter is 5th. So the Texans have 2 top 5 edges. That's
crazy.
One of the reasons why their defense is so stellar. And I
we
guess
wanted another edge. We couldn't get
we
another
did.
one, right?
All right. Safeties. Brian Branch and Thomas Harper. You start with Brian Branch. Where do you think he ended up with as far as being ranked in safeties?
I'll say 7.
9th. He's top 10. What about Thomas Harper?
I'll say 11.
He's 10th.
Yeah,
So
I
9th
knew
and
that
10th.
last time we checked, he was really high up there. And Harper's played pretty well.
Yes. And so, like, when you think about next year, like, okay, that sucks about Kirby, but you think Thomas Harper may come back better, and hopefully it's hard to replicate Kirby. Kirby just has a knack for the football. Just
Exactly.
jumping
That's
routes.
what we've been hurting
just
is
like,
those interceptions and
Right.
constantly being right there.
Yep. And so it'll be interesting to see how it goes. What obviously with Kirby, but I do feel good with if we could bring Harper back, and then obviously Brian Branch, we're hoping that he comes back fine from his injury.
Yes.
Let's see, Al Qadim Muhammad. He was in the top like 15 for a while. I'll give you that he's out of the top 15 now. Where do you think he's ranked at?
21st.
24th. So, obviously a player coming out of, I won't say nowhere because we had him last year, but I don't think any of us saw him getting, being second in the team in sacks.
Right.
That's either a good thing or a bad thing, depending on how you want to look at it. One of our free agents, Roy Lopez, and who we've spotlighted quite a few times. He's a free agent this year, so we're going to have to think about, whether to re-sign him or not. Where do you think he ends up in defensive line?
I mean, he's played really well, and I know like in game recaps when I'm looking at, they usually have him rated pretty high, but I don't know. I'll say 10.
He's 29th out of 128. Okay. So it is good. Just I won't quiz you on the rest of these, but just so that Alex Anzalone comes in right 35th. Derek Barnes is 41st. Tyleek is 51st for defensive linemen, and Aleem is 82nd out of 128. I think a big part of it is how they're using Aleem.
Yes.
Especially at the beginning. And second, he's coming back from a major surgery, a big guy like that. I expect next year for him to be back to being Aleem. And that's going to be a big difference both in our run game and his ability to get pressure up the middle. That's at least what I'm expecting.
Yeah, man, I hope so.
And so way down in this list is Amik, ranked, and for cornerbacks, 106 out of 112.
Wow.
106 out of 112.
Wild.
And I could say he's had some games where he's let a lot of completions up. He's definitely not been locked down as much as he was last year. I think a lot of it is communication out there, but there's been multiple plays where he's either jump routes or gotten greedy, and it just hasn't paid off for him.
Yep. Same with DJ, though. I mean, it seems like they are either jumping or, I don't know. Just something is off. They both seem to be like really close to the defender when they're making those third down catches and everything. It's like, I don't understand, slipping. There's been quite a few from both of them where they kind of like slip and they fall or they lose their footing. I don't know why that keeps happening. Some of it is the zone thing, but the majority of it is in man, and they're just not sticking with them.
Exactly. Yep. All right, Jacob. Roar alert time. Who is the player that's going to make some noise for the Lions on Thursday on Christmas?
All right. Hey, I just mentioned the name. I'm going to go with DJ Reed.
All right.
We need the defensive backs to have a good game. Maybe it's just a shutdown game from him. Could be a turnover, but we just really need him to have a good game. So that's what I'm going to go with my roar alert here. DJ Reed making a couple of big plays.
All right.
Who you got?
Hutch is going to, I'm going with Hutch. I think he's going to, he got 2 sacks last game. He's going to end this season real strong, and it's going to be another, good game. I'm hoping for multiple sacks. He has not had a strip sack in a while, and I'd like to see him get one of those. I'm not calling that he's going to get that, but that's really what I want to see. That's
what I had in mind with the grit guarantee.
Yeah. All right. Well, good. I'll let you go first then, since I've kind of spoiled it for you. So what's your grit guarantee?
I'm saying that we get 2+ turnovers. Could including
turnovers.
Turnover on downs, fourth down stops, maybe force a fumble, a pick. That's what I had in mind, is that Hutch maybe knocking the ball out of Prosper's hands. But yeah, I'm going to say at least 2 turnovers in this game for us.
we must have been thinking very similarly because mine is turnover based too. Meek's going to cause a fumble on this game. He's going to get a punch out.
Oh, okay.
He's going to do that peanut
Maybe he's gonna
punch
have a
and
big
punch that
club,
ball out. So
big club on his hand.
That's my
and just
guarantee in this game. Yeah, he's
Nice.
got that club. I mean, that'll do some damage, right?
right.
Punch that right in. You really bruise up the guy's arm. But yeah, that's what I'm going to go with. I like that you're including turnovers on downs because we have not stopped a team in fourth down in a while. And I'm looking forward to us doing that and turning the ball over. All right, Jacob,
You mentioned that, but
go ahead.
so just because I had that and I never mentioned it earlier, but we are 26th in the league in fourth down percentage, and we have not stopped a fourth down attempt in the last 4 games. So the last time we stopped a fourth down attempt was against the Giants. Last 4 games, those teams are 10 for 10 on fourth down.
Well, in that fourth down, I don't know if we did it multiple times, the Giants, but that was probably in overtime, right? The time that we last
I think
stopped
the
them,
Giants
that
went
was
like
where
1 for
Hutch.
3.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Well, the one was, I know for sure, was where Hutch got a sack at, to end the game.
Yes.
All right. Quickly, NFC North, we talked about it. Bears are on top, 11-4. Packers right behind them, 9-5-1. We are 8-7. The Vikings are 7-8. So as bad as the Vikings have been, but they've won 3 in a row for whatever reason. So I do not want to be in the bottom of this division. Although, if you do get that, like if that happens, the side benefit is that you get the 4th place schedule next year.
Exactly. Right. That's the light at the end of the tunnel, is that we get to play all the other 4th place teams. And then you can kind of parlay. I mean, the 49ers have a really good team this year, right? But they've been battling some injuries. They've had some things that they're going through, but they were 4th place last year because whatever they went through last year. And now they're, in position where potentially they're fighting for the 1 seed.
Yep. And that's how they create that parity in the league, is that, your 4th place team plays a 4th place schedule. So therefore you're just not playing as good opponents, most likely. Now, I could argue that someone is not going to want to see the Lions in a 4th place schedule, right? Like, oh man, I got stuck playing the Lions. At least that's what we're hoping next year. And that's what I'm expecting next year, is that we're, playoff, Super Bowl caliber team next year. But you hit it right on the button. Now the 49ers get that 4th place schedule. Now I will also say 49ers had a 4th place schedule, but they also had to play the Rams twice and Seattle twice. So it's not like their division schedule was easy. I mean, they've had, that's a tough division.
Right.
So, all right, let's get out of this. I don't like seeing the Bears on top. Let's get this screen off here. All right.
Do you like seeing this any better?
I don't like seeing this either. My strategy of trying to catch up to you is not working. It's going quite the opposite of the way I want it to work. But I went 1-2 last week. Jacob went 3-0. We both picked Seattle to win. That was a very fun game to watch.
It was.
That was a good game. That deserved to be Sunday Night Football, in my opinion. That would have been awesome. But it was one of the best Thursday Night Football games that you'll see. Obviously, Seattle won that game. Packers versus Ravens. I went with Ravens. You went with, or I said Packers. Patriots versus Ravens on Sunday Night Football. That game got moved into Sunday Night Football. I think originally it was the Bengals Dolphins, and they moved that out. Ravens, is it Harbaugh's last stand? Is he going to be with coaching next year with them? Harbaugh maybe goes to Michigan. John Harbaugh goes to Michigan and coaches next year. What do you think about that, Jacob?
I have not seen that come up at all, but that would be kind of wild.
That would.
I don't know that I would hate that, but I don't think that John Harbaugh is as good of a coach as Jim Harbaugh.
No. Well, I mean, also, but it would be just awesome to have another Harbaugh in there. And that would really make the NCAA really mad, right?
Right.
Like having another Harbaugh
almost
in there.
Like a loophole.
That's that's worth it, man. And then they couldn't suspend him for his brother's actions. All right. So the last game that we picked, I was hoping Phillip Rivers would have some sort of magic in him. He actually played pretty well in that game, which to me is an indictment on quarterbacks in the NFL. How does Phillip Rivers not play for 5 years, become a grandpa, and then comes in and 277 and 2 touchdowns against 49ers? It blows my mind. I don't know how this is possible.
I feel like a lot of that was in garbage time, was it not?
I don't care. He's still out there doing this. I mean, there's other quarterbacks
Yeah,
in
but
this
I mean,
league.
then the defense is playing off a little bit. I mean, I don't have it in front of me right now. I know he drove down. I think the first, maybe like 2 out of the first 3 drives he threw touchdown passes on. So that was earlier on in the game when it was close.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the fact that he hasn't played in 5 years and be able to come in and play starting quarterback, and not embarrass himself it's amazing to me. All right. What is embarrassing is this. Jacob is 35-20 for grit picks. I am 28-27. I went more respectable with my picks this week, so we'll see how that goes. We're picking all the if you're watching on YouTube, you can see Santa's face in there. We're picking all the Christmas Day games. All right, first game, Jacob, I'm gonna let you go first. You got you have Cowboys at Commanders. Who's gonna win this game?
First, I just want to point out, like, I hope they don't continue this trend. Like, first off, I don't think that we need football on Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
If you are going to do that, like, I think last year they had the 1 game on Christmas, right? Then they have the 1 game and it was
2.
Was there 2? I feel like it could have been, but I feel like it was later in the day.
Well, it was on a Wednesday, so it was just 1. It was the Chiefs, I think, played that
I was
day.
thinking that it was just the 1. But anyway, I just don't, when you think about like the players and their families and everything, like for them to do that to the Cowboys and the Lions, for us to have to play on Thanksgiving, which is fine, that's tradition, that's what they do, but then to also make them both go on the road on Christmas and, on both of those holidays, that's just not right to me.
Yeah.
And I just you don't need that many games on Christmas Day. I don't like this. I'm not a fan of this. Obviously, I like football. I like having games on all the time, but to do that on Christmas and have these players have to do that really, really kind of stinks. So I know the NBA does a big Christmas thing and the NFL is trying to get in there, but I mean, how do you feel about it?
I could tell you that my wife's not happy because it's at 4:00, so she's like trying to plan dinner, and
Right.
I'm like, well, we could try to eat it. Like game starts at 4:25. I was like, we could try to eat at 4. Christmas is a little different. It's a lot of grazing. Like you can get a plate and then go back get more or whatever. Or she's like, I'll try to plan it for halftime. But it's also like, how you and I like to watch football, right? Like we like to like really pay attention, and my boys do too. But it's also a family day. It's Christmas, right? I mean, I don't like it from that standpoint. And like you said, we play on Thanksgiving, and obviously the Cowboys do too. And that's a choice for us to play on Thanksgiving. But then to make us play on Christmas again on the road, that really sucks. And then I also think of like the beat writers and all those guys that they have to work that day. Either the people that travel with the team, or they have to do write up. They got to write articles. Like I get it. That's the life they chose. And I know that a lot of people think that that's a glamorous job and would love to have it. And I'm sure at some point you would. It'd be really cool. And parts of it are super cool. But at the end of the day, it's a job. And, if I have young kids at home, I'd want to be with my kids. I would feel terrible not being with my kids on that day. But it is what it is. So I know other people will say, "Oh, I kill for that job or whatever." But at the end of the day, after you've done it for a few years, a job is a job, and I don't care who you are. You just get complacent with it, and they don't want to work it. So the fact 3 games is overkill on this day. Like,
right.
I could tell you this, that I don't know. They'll be on, but I will not be paying attention I mean, the Lions game, obviously, I'll be watching. But the other games, they'll be on, but I won't be, like, really involved with it because I'll have, my kids and other family members over, so.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I had just on Sunday with the Steelers, I had Christmas with my parents, my brother, and my sister. So, that I'm watching, in the garage, I've got the TV on when we're out there. We go inside for presents and stuff, and I've got to be on my phone. And I don't want to be that person on my phone and not being present at Christmas time. But at the same time, it's the Lions. So, try to time it better for this next one. And I don't know that it's going to turn out. I also, I didn't realize when I had first said that, but the Chiefs also played on Thanksgiving. At least now they're at home. Yeah. But I mean, they're still playing on the other holiday again. And I think the Chiefs played on Christmas last year. Actually, the Chiefs.
Well, and think about
ever since they brought back the Christmas thing, I think the Chiefs have to play on Christmas.
Yeah, well, it's the Patrick Mahomes thing, and ironically, he's not playing. I mean, you look at all these games. I mean, there's no playoff potential in the first game. The second game, yes, we Lions, do, but it's not like both teams do. It's not like a great game between the two. And then the Broncos obviously have stuff to play. They're playing for that number one seed out in the AFC, but the Chiefs are obviously out, and now they're going to be on their third string quarterback too, playing against that defense.
Yeah.
Yeah, the you know it yeah it. I'm not none of these games I'm particularly other than Lions that I'm particularly looking for. The other two games I'm not dying to see. So, who do you have? So I took the Commanders actually versus the Cowboys. Who are you picking in this game, Jacob?
Yep. So we're already differing on the first one. Commanders couldn't slow down the Cowboys in the last matchup. The playoffs are out of the reach, but the Commanders have a lot of players battling through injuries. I don't know that they're gonna all suit up, especially Mariota is hurt and Jaden Daniels is hurt. So the Commanders might have to go to Josh Johnson. I kind of just think that it's going to look like it did last time, and the Cowboys will pull away and win decisively.
You're probably right. This is like always these two teams. The home team always has a bigger advantage in this division matchup, but yeah, it's yep. So Commanders, Cowboys. Okay, and now Lions, Vikings. Obviously, we don't pick the game. If you listen to us, we pick something about the game. I chose over under because actually I think this is kind of an interesting over under. 44.5 is what I looked up earlier, Jacob. I'll go first. I'm going with the under in this game. Are you going over or under the 44.5?
Yeah, I'm gonna go over.
Right.
I mean, you hope this would hit the over because the Lions score 30 to 40 points and then, maybe give up 14 or whatever. But the Vikings defense seems to always play the Lions tough. But the last matchup also between us was really close, but the total points last matchup was 51. So I'm going to still say over on this.
Okay. Last Christmas Day matchup, we got the Broncos favored 12.5 at the Chiefs. Who would have thought at the beginning of the year that there'd be a double-digit spread on this game?
Right.
I'm sure the NFL didn't when they scheduled this. And
yeah.
I think that this one's the Amazon Prime game. The first two are on Netflix. That's another thing that sucks. Like, if you don't have Netflix, you can't watch these games. I know that NFL's all about the money, but that it's just a big cash grab, and it's annoying to me.
For sure.
Luckily, I'll be at home and I have Netflix, so I don't have any problems watching this. But my father and father-in-law when they were playing the Cowboys, he's like, "How am I going to watch this game?" He doesn't have his Amazon Prime, and he doesn't live in the Detroit market, so he was screwed. So I just think it's annoying that all these people have to get all these services to watch these games. All right, Jacob. Broncos, Chiefs. Who are you going with?
I'm going to go with the Broncos here.
Wow,
the Chiefs are spiraling. They lost to the Titans, and it did not look good. The Broncos have looked very good, but they were also coming off a loss. They were overpowered by the Jaguars. So the Broncos actually really need this one. Of course, they want to take it to the Chiefs. Mahomes and Minshew are not playing. Had they been playing and these things look like if Mahomes was playing in this game, I would say the Chiefs would have a decent shot in the upset here. Mahomes is not playing. The third string quarterback, his name is like Oladikan or something like that. I don't know how you say it. I think it's a nightmare for him to have to go up against the Broncos defense on a lost season and have to try to rally the troops and try to upset this Denver team. I just don't see it happening.
On a short week, nonetheless, too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He didn't have a full week of practice. Crazy. Yeah. Some Broncos. All right. This next matchup is actually probably the matchup I'm looking forward to most this week. Bears at 49ers. Who are you going with in this one, Jacob? 49ers are favored by 2.5.
Yeah, I'm still just not a believer in the Bears. I think the 49ers are a more complete football team. This could set up one of these teams for the 1 seed. The 49ers and the Seahawks play in week 18. So, the 49ers with a win here could keep themselves in track that possibly they could, be getting ready for that. there's also kind of like I think the 49ers played Monday night, the Bears played Saturday, is that right?
Yes.
So the Bears actually got like 2 extra days of rest, but then they also have to travel here. So that could be an interesting point there also, but yeah, I just think the 49ers are going to win this one.
I'm going with the 49ers as well. I'm becoming I don't know if I'm becoming a total believer in the Bears, but their run game is really good. And we know as Lions fans, if you could control that line of scrimmage and control the run game, you got a pretty good chance. However, the Bears have also, like, unlike last year, they've come back in a lot of these games, like getting an onside kick on Saturday, just like a lot of the crazy end of the game against the Bengals. Like they've had just a lot of these comebacks.
Right.
So, you if you can play them tough, you just have to play them tough for the whole fourth quarter and don't allow them to get anything. I cannot believe Dobbs did not get that onside kick. It was right to him. Like man, you're on the hands team. You gotta get that.
Right,
That was
right.
insane to me. All right. Monday Night Football, Rams at Falcons. I'm picking a Falcons game again, and I always get these wrong, but I think I'm still going with the Rams. I'm going with the Rams. I'm gonna jinx them. Screw them. Screw them because I I did root for the Rams to win the Super Bowl that year with Matt Stafford's first year, but I'm not rooting for that again because I could not handle the Rams having 2 Super Bowl wins because then that trade goes down a lot differently. 2 Super Bowl wins, I just can't handle that mentally. So I am an anti-Rams fan at this
Yes.
point.
Agreed. But I do have the Rams winning this one pretty decisively.
Yeah. Yes.
Number 1 scoring offense in football. The Falcons are ranked 21st in defense. So I think the Rams are going to have some success moving the ball pretty easily in this one.
Yeah, it'll come down to turnovers as it always does. If they could turn Stafford over a couple of times, then they might get a chance. But I just don't see it happening. Rams' offensive line is playing really well, and yeah, there's just so many weapons on that game. Maybe Puka will say something stupid and get suspended. That could happen.
Right.
Speaking of suspended, DK got the 2 games. Was upheld today. And then did you see the note that the fan is not getting anything? Like there's no discipline for the fan at all?
I did not see that there was no discipline for the fan.
Yeah.
But I
So
mean,
the Lion,
how
yeah.
many different angles do they have of this? Like everyone's
I know.
got phones out and recorded, and they've been posting the stuff online. I know somebody shared something that said the fan was like said something afterward, like that was the goal or that's what he wanted to do or something.
Yeah.
So what? Of course he's yelling and heckling, trying to get a rise out of the other player. That's the point of you doing it. That doesn't mean that he should be banned for life. It doesn't mean he said something wrong. Just very easy to get under DK's skin.
Yeah, it just means he's immature. I mean, that's all it means, but he didn't do anything.
You saw what he was wearing. Of course he's immature. What?
Exactly. No, I get that, but I'm just saying you don't deserve to be kicked out of the stadium because you're immature. And we had talked about last time about, maybe that some language came out that he had said, that might have been unsightly, but I would think that with all the camera phones around there, they would have picked up on that if he'd have said some racially charged language. So I'm assuming that he was proven that he didn't say that.
They had a lot of NFL film crew at that game. There were a few players that were mic'd up, I think, for both sides. So
Okay.
I don't know if DK was mic'd up and they'll have to toss all that footage because of this incident, but somehow they were pretty quickly able to determine that, the fan did not say anything like that.
Yeah. Yeah. So whatever. Again, just insane. A lot of suspensions this year in football. I feel like they're suspending guys more. Like a lot of times you might get ejected from the game or whatever, but I'm noticing, maybe I'm not remembering right, but it just feels like there's more suspensions this year than I've remember in the past.
Be something to look at.
Yeah. Sounds like an off-season project, right?
Right.
I know one of our guys was suspended for a game.
He was innocent.
Innocent? No, that was clear as day.
Right.
That he did that, but whatever. I still want him back. I'm hoping he's back for the start of the season. All right.
Right.
So you said your Christmas is, you got to do some wrapping, but you're all done shopping.
Done shopping for the presents. I
Okay.
do still have to go back to the store tomorrow. I've got to make a cheesecake for Christmas on Thursday.
Okay.
And I don't know if anybody's been out in the stores, but it's the only store that I go to is Meijer because I work there. And
Yeah.
you would not believe how many people, this is your first year doing the remote thing and not having to be like in all this,
Yeah.
but you take a quick break. I'm going to go grab something to drink real quick. Like, no, you're not. You're going to be in line for 10 or 15 minutes.
I went there on Saturday to get like stocking stuffers and, just random stuff. And I was dreading it. I was like, God, I just don't want to step in this store. And the parking lot was packed. I had to park way out there. And luckily I got in and out of the self-checkout really fast. But yeah, I remember that working in the store, like everything just takes twice as long. Like you want to get something for lunch real quick. Nope, that's not going to be quick. Cause by the time you wade through, the people get to the deli or whatever, and then you go wait in line at the self-checkout, like your lunch is like almost over by that point. It's annoying.
Right. This year, for the first time, though, it's like people have figured out my system because I usually use the shop and scan. There's like 3 registers, 3 checkout lanes that are shop and scan. And even when I do like a lot of grocery shopping, I will do that shop and scan. That way it doesn't take as long to check out.
Yeah.
You scan everything as you go in your cart and then you scan at the thing. Well, like this time, everything was just crazy chaos when I took a quick break. So then when I'm off of work, it's like, okay, now I have to get like the thing I need to get. And I've only got like 2 things. Well, the shop and scan line was all the way down like into the freezer section. There's 3 lanes of the shop and scan line. Every person in line's only got a couple of things, but they're lined up all the way back.
Oh my God.
And it's like, I don't know why there's 15 self-checkout lanes. There's 3 shop and scan. Why are you guys waiting in this line? So then I got in the regular self-checkout lane and I waited about 10 minutes and waited through. But some of the people that were in that shop and scan were still in the same spot in line. Like, yes, it's supposed to be quicker, but especially when there's that many people, it's inevitable that somebody's going to go up there and try to pay cash when they can't. It'll be the first time they've ever used a self-checkout lane.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to scan something wrong and need somebody to come take a look at it. Like, it's chaos in the store. So I'm not looking forward to having to go out and do that again tomorrow.
My next question for you: do you let your kids open a present on Christmas Eve? Or I know you got the dog today, so maybe that plays into it, but do you normally let them open something ahead of time, or is it Christmas morning chaos?
Normally we do. I don't know about this year because they got the dog and because they usually Christmas with my parents is after Christmas. So, they open like a handful of things over there, but they had this one before Christmas. So they just opened some toys and had some things that they just opened. So I don't know that they need to open anything tomorrow, but I'm sure they're going to be ragging us about it all day. So
I'm sure.
About you, what are your thoughts on that?
So we do Christmas with my mom's side of the family on Christmas Eve. So the boys already get stuff. So similar to what you just said, like they've already opened up stuff. So we don't do any, we don't, because of that, we don't let them open up. And I don't know if we would let them open up earlier or not. I think, they like this. They like to get as many gifts. Like they like to see that pile under the tree.
Right.
And then,
right.
Just go crazy. Now, the next thing I'll ask you, do your kids all open in a mad dash, or do you make them open like one at a time? Like, do you like each? Because I know you got 4 kids, so like that seems like insane. Like, try to keep track of everything if they're all opening at the same time.
Deanna, my wife, is in control of all that. She dishes them out one at a time and then tries to slow down because, if she just let him have at it, JJ would open his presents and probably be back up in his room in a matter of like 10 or 15 minutes. So she does one at a time, especially like some of the bigger things. They have like similar gifts as each other, like different styles of the same kind of thing. So then obviously she's very careful about making sure they open those around the same time.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah, she's kind of perfected it. She's got a good thing going. It's funny because, in the past, we've always had to like share a note on our iPhone, which is similar to like what we do for the podcast, like with these documents. Well, we shared a note and like started it this year. And then I grabbed like Milo's iPad for something like that. And Milo's iPad is linked to my phone. So I grabbed Milo's iPad and it's right there on the thing. Like I don't know that he clicked it because he wouldn't have seen anything. It was early enough, but like, sure.
Yeah.
Like, I'm glad we caught this now before I put everything. So now I have a Google document and it's been very nice because like, for the last month or so, we've been putting stuff on here, things that they want, things that we have, different things we need to get, links to Amazon. We had a pretty good system this year. It's
That's
just all
good.
the wrapping that needs done.
Yeah, that always. I did like the wrapping for the whole rest of the family. I did bags this year. We had so many bags
Nice.
that as stockpiled. I didn't buy any bags. It's just like we just save them. They just get rotated around, and so I just was like, screw this. I'm using bags now for the boys stuff that we got them. We wrap. We like to wrap them in wrapping paper just because it's more fun for them to go through. But
Exactly. For them to tear it open.
yeah, just go crazy. But yeah, are you at home on Christmas Day like the whole day, or do you travel?
No, so we go to my parents and have like Christmas dinner with all of my cousins and everything like
Okay.
that. We used to back in the day go to my grandparents' house.
Okay.
And then after my grandfather had passed away, then we started going to my parents' house. Well, then
Okay.
my grandmother passed away as well, and now we all kind of like that's just the tradition. It's just to go to my parents, all the cousins, everybody get together. It's a good time.
Yeah. So we used to go to my dad's house, but then during COVID, my mom passed away, unfortunately, and so then it switched to my sister and I trading on and off. So we both have kids very similar in age. And so we thought, okay, it'd be nice for 1 year that we just wake up, open gifts with the kids, and then don't have to travel. So everyone comes to us. And then this year we go to them. So what my sister and I do, we trade off Thanksgiving, and we host Thanksgiving, and then they host Christmas, and then the following year they host Thanksgiving and we host Christmas. And then Sarah's family, my wife's family, comes over and like starting around 2, and then we do it all over again. So it's pretty busy, but it's a lot of fun and the kids have a good time, and it's really slow pace with Sarah's family. It's one at a time for everybody and the whole family. It just everyone we dole out the gifts, and then it's one at a time. Everyone takes pictures and talks, and it
It
takes
didn't
quite a
occur to
long
me that
time.
was like a different thing until this year. I saw somebody share that online,
Uh-huh.
and it was like there's nothing worse
Yeah.
than like marrying into a family where everybody has to open one at a time, and because every everything for my family has always just been like, oh, we'll hand out gifts. We all open them at the same time, as each other. It's
Mhm.
kind of like a little bit of chaos. It just never occurred to me that there are
Yes.
families just like, no, you open one at a time. Everyone's got to watch you open the gift. Everyone's got to see your reaction to the gift. It's like, that's too much pressure.
Yeah. So I actually don't mind it. I really like my in-laws, so like we just are talking and we're eating the whole time, and it's not that big a deal. Sarah's always the last one to open, like the last one to have a gift too. She's always has the most. And I think 1 year maybe I beat her, and so I really milk that. But
Yeah.
for the most part, Sarah's always the last one. My mom's family, however, is what you talked about, mass chaos. Like just no one pays attention to anything. Like and just everyone's opening gifts at the same time. And so Sarah and I try to slow it down at least for the kids. So like they they get their center of the attention and they can do that. For the adults is a lot of lottery tickets. We just
Right.
hand lottery tickets to each other. And Sarah says the sound of Christmas, so there is us scratching lottery tickets because literally it happens for like a half an hour. And then, my brother and I have the scanners on our phone to see, to make you scan the barcode, and then you can see
You
like we
scratch off the
scratch a
barcode and just
ticket, but
scan it.
we double check because people have missed before, which is insane.
Nobody's
But
ever hit a
you
big amount though.
Right, my one of my brothers and I, we will hit pretty big. Like I had 1 year I was close to 500. My brother Jeff 1 year, like I think all told was like over 800 because he hit like 200, and then he rebought tickets, and then one of the tickets won like 500 that he rebought. Like it like kept going. It was
So just keep it
insane.
going. Just keep
It
buying
just
more
kept
tickets.
going, and my brother Ryan always seems to be the big, always gets it. But there's usually two of us make money, and then one of us gets like shafted,
Yeah.
gets nothing, and then you're like, I just wish I had the money for those tickets. But it is fun scratching them off, and it's just what Christmas is in that family right now, which is fine. It's fun. And then we'll usually play cards or something like that. With that
Right.
family, we do some, not like super gambling, but we'll play like a game called Screw Your Neighbor, or maybe some poker, but mostly like Screw Your Neighbor or something like that, or dice games or something like that. Don't call
It's a
the
good
cops
time.
on me, okay?
Right.
For quarters, huge money. Chauncey Billups comes over. It's great.
Yeah.
He's my ringer.
That's where he went wrong, huh?
Exactly. I know he gets everybody to spend all the money. All right, man. Anybody's listening this far in the podcast, God bless you, but also Merry Christmas. And if you don't celebrate Christmas, I don't know why you listen to all
Happy
that, but
holidays.
that's crazy. Yeah, happy holidays, and enjoy time with your family, enjoy time by yourself, enjoy whatever you're doing. Whatever Netflix show you're watching, enjoy that. And Merry Christmas, Jacob. It's been a good year. And again, we don't work together anymore, but it's been fun spending this time. Lions, I know it's not been as great as we want, but I have enjoyed doing the podcast.
Not as
with
much
you,
fun
so
as
Merry
last year,
Christmas.
but right. It's still a good time.
No,
Yes.
it's still
Merry
fun.
Christmas.
And I find it very useful talking about it and just working things out and then thinking about it. Like, it does take a little bit of the pain away. I thought it was going to be worse when we first started doing it, like having to talk about the loss, but I actually, at some point for me, it's cathartic, just forcing myself to go through it.
Right. Analyzing everything instead of just dwelling on the pain.
Yep. I also feel like I'm talking with you and I feel like we're going through it together. So I feel like I got someone in the same boat with me. And then obviously all our listeners that ask questions and do all that, I feel like we're all together and doing a good community service for each other.
At least the last few weeks. Before that, it was always an opportunity for the opposing team's fans to get in here and trash us.
Yeah, I know.
Which was nice of them to kick us when we're down.
Yes, it's fun. It's fun. It is what it is. So, all right, Jacob. Merry Christmas, everybody. He's Jacob. I'm Jason. Let's go, Lions.